Hey guys, how's it going? You know the drill. If you like my videos, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Alrighty, I wanted to get into Olympic sports cars. In the winter time, I was talking maybe November, December, January. I was talking about, Olympic sports cars, specifically the cards, the Olympics in Japan. These cards I wanted to look at because no one really was looking into it. I mean, if you look at baseball, basketball, football, MMA, boxing, tennis, right? A lot of people were going into it, the herd mentality. And what I saw was an opportunity in the Olympic sports cards for aggressive flipping. Not aggressive flipping, but flipping, closer to, a May through June time frame, or maybe you could say July. And I noticed that, okay, not much demand right now. Am I seeing something that no one else is seeing? And, I was like, okay, who's the GOAT in some of these Olympics? And I thought to myself, Simone Biles, right? I even said some things that people didn't agree about, right? At the Super Bowl, sell Tom Brady by Simone Biles. And I wasn't talking about like the high end Brady cards. I was talking about, the 236 card that I showed in the other video. And just for a flip, take the profits, put in this BIOS. And you could have got this card like $4 or $5. I think I got this, both of these cards for a couple of bucks. And it's a rookie card. And I also bought a bunch of those sheets. I think I paid maybe $2, $3 a sheet for about 10. So I may have spent like $35, maybe somewhere between 25 to $35. And one of those sheets probably goes for about $40, closer to Olympics if she does well again. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 100. Her PSA 9 of this card, I believe went for about $1,700 on PWCC, but you have to remember that the population size is low right now because PSA shut down and not many people have gotten these cards graded. And there were other cards as well. This is one of her auto cards. I got it for maybe $118. This is just an authentic Beckett card. Maybe I'll take it out of the sleeve and take a look at this. I'm not a Simone Biles fan. I'm just thinking, okay, who's the GOAT, right, in this Olympics? And even if it's female. And, the other thing is, I got this card raw for about $74. I sent it to PSA before all the craziness happened a few months ago. Paid maybe $64 with shipping. So for $135, I got a PSA 9 and I got an Auto 10. What would that be right now? It'd probably be, just throwing a guess, at least $400, you know, because, it has a dual, it has a 9, it has a 10. You know, in the wintertime, I bought a Michael Phelps similar type of card. It was a mint 9, auto was a 10. And I got $500. So I'm saying, $400, $500 for this card. Could be more if I send to Probstein or PWCC. And, I was talking about also some of these other guys like Usain Bolt, got it for $56 or close to $60. Last night, this one dude was able to sell for $900. So that's 15x on it. I have it signed right now. And, and I'll see where the price goes at the end of the auction. I'll let you know in a future video. But anyways, my thought process once again was, okay, I want to buy way ahead before everybody else, And the way that I go into cards is using the strategy of I want to go into a place where no one's looking into. Now you're starting to see some of these content creators, they're talking about Olympic cards. Like maybe a few weeks ago, they're talking about it. But I don't remember anyone talking about, Olympic sports cards at that time. There may have been, but I missed it. But it wasn't really talked about. Now people are like, oh, I should get into Biles. I should buy some Michael Phelps cards. Speaking of Phelps, there's some of his ungraded cards that were going for $2. Now I have to spend $40 for the same card. It's insane. It's hype. And my strategy is buy low, sell high, and I'm gonna unload some of these cards probably in the coming months. This card here, this authenticated auto, I think I'm gonna be selling this. I'm not sure if I want to sell this because this is scarce, and if she does well, this may be worth holding on to, even though if the sports card market crashes in the coming years, like I've talked about. And also another thing I wanted to get into was that I talked about in my earlier videos rules for sports card investing. And I was talking about how when I used to invest in coffee futures, there are producers that buy coffee futures, like Starbucks. And Starbucks main sales, when it comes wintertime. Do you know when they buy? They buy when demand is low. They buy it in May and June, around that time, July. Because who the hell is buying coffee at that time, especially in North America? So the prices are low and they sell at a high price because everyone's cold. People still bought coffee during the winter time, They just went through the drive-through here in Chicagoland, everywhere else, especially in the north, where everything was closed. So that's the same philosophy I'm using. I'm going like 6-7 months out and I'm buying stuff that people aren't looking at. Some people, figured the strategy out for football. They figured out the strategy for, baseball, buy in November and sell in March, right? And what I'm doing right now is I'm buying, for the Olympics. Some people are buying for summer. I'm looking at Beijing. I got this auto Chloe Kim. I don't know who's gonna be in the Olympics in the coming 6-7 months. If once again the United States is active in the Olympics, you have to remember there's a political thing going on about human rights, and the United States may boycott it. I doubt it. There may be some lip service like, oh, this is bad, the human rights, this and that. But ultimately, I think they're going to go. And it is a risk, by the way. Chloe Kim, who I bought, it wasn't that much. It's maybe $76. It's a PSA, just DNA certified signature. 75 bucks. Maybe it doubles by the time Beijing Olympics happens. And I bought, a set of 9 of these of Chloe Kim, She didn't win that much, but it's the name recognition. Who won a gold? Who's had success before those Olympics as well? When she was a teen, she did pretty well. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm buying, stuff 6, 7, 8 months when no one really was talking about. I also bought the Sports Illustrated for Kids ones, and yeah. And regarding the Summer Olympics, I'm gonna start to sell some of these things and try to get my profits. Some of the Usain Bolt raw cards I'm going to be selling because, the supply is much larger than what I thought it was, and what is much larger than what everyone thinks it is. People may think that some of these Sports Illustrated Kids cards are scarce. Well, you don't know who has hundreds of these. So I actually was doing a search on Golden Auctions last night. There were about 85 cards of Usain Bolt that you could have gotten last year for $400. So, that's what, $4 or $5 or whatever. And they paid, $4 or $5 per card, and they have 80 of them. What if that dude decides to flood the market with all those Usain Bolt cards, closer to the auction, not the auction, to the Olympics, the Summer Olympics? Or what if it's already flooded? These cards are not sent to PSA yet. And if they are, they're in the process of getting graded and BGS. The supply will come and the values of these will most likely go lower. The PSA 10 of $20,000, that's crazy. There will be more PSA 10s, even though it's harder to get the Sports Illustrated for Kids cards at a high grade. But yeah, it just seems a lot of supplies out there, and I want to get out before everyone, starts to flood the market and sell. Because right now, it appears that people are buying these cards up like crazy, anticipation of the Olympics where they want to flip. So I want to get ahead of that because there may be excess supply at that moment. Anyways, guys, what do you think? What are your strategies for Olympics? Have you guys thought about buying and selling for the Summer Olympics? And also, have you thought about, buying cards for the Winter Olympics that I believe are going to come, what, 2022? Maybe February, I believe? I forget which month. And it's going to be interesting, in my opinion. And there is also hockey, but how will the hockey season go with, COVID and all that? And should be interesting. All right, guys, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.